And welcome back to another video slash stream of Crystalline today. So last time we got to whatever the town was called. New Crest Hill, I think it was New Crest Hill. We got to the inn. We're in a fantasy world, and I have a Pongo for a friend. Now, it's the next morning, so knock on my door jolts me awake. I sit straight up in the bed and barely notice a tiny yelp as the Pongo tumbles to the floor. Hello? The knocking stops. No. No, I'm not. I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of light outside. What time is it? Dawn? There's no good reason anyone should be awake at this hour. I attempt to lay back down in my bed when the knocking starts again. Alright, I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops. I yawn and stretch to notice the Pongo on my floor. What's up, bitch? What are you doing on the floor, buddy? Weren't you sleeping on the bed? The Pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look. Way too early in understanding, buddy. Yeah, I glance at the slight indentation on my pillow and back at the blue mass on the floor. Sorry, didn't mean to knock you off. I did. He looks cautiously at me, hops on the bed, and up onto my head. He nips at my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he forgives me. I push myself to my feet and begin getting dressed. Once I've grabbed all my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Leanna. Whoa! Yeah. Leanna nods and leads the way out of the inn. I follow her through the town as we head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived, as the town gradually begins to wake up. We don't run into many people on the street, although the shops aren't open yet. I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Right before we reach the edge of town, a car stops us. The eyebrows crease. The guard notices the signal on the end of the manipulator. She nods. As the guard turns his focus to me, I draw attention to the blade on my hip. He nods gruffly, then moves out of the way. She motions for me to follow her. Once we're back on the familiar dirt path, I take one last look at Meadow Hill Village. Woohoo, I was right about the name. Before refocusing on the road ahead of me. Trek along the path is peaceful. The forest gradually awakens with birdsong and the scuttling of woodland animals. Having grown up in the city, the sounds of nature still startle me, and I glance at every rustle of the leaves. Leonida seems unfazed. Her eyes routinely survey her surroundings. Sorry. What was I trying to say there? Suddenly she realizes. What am I trying to say? Suddenly she freezes. I nearly bump into her. What the? The falls silent. She listens. When she speaks, her voice is a whisper. Strain my ears listening for anything out of place. Then I hear voices among the trees. Bandits? Strangled scream pierces the air, scaring a flock of birds into flight. Sorry, don't let my texting not stop you from going. Previous caution abandoned. Leanna sprints towards the sound, and I follow at her heels. We both take cover as the trees open up, revealing a man in a trench coat surrounded by 5 bandits, while more bandit lies motionless on the ground. Upon seeing their fallen comrade, the bandits all unsheathe their weapons. 3 of them hold long swords. 2 of them point guns. Trenchcoat man doesn't stir. His dark hair falls over his eyes, and I can't see his face. On the date? The man pushes open his coat and draws 2 guns as the bandits converge. Leanna sets her jaw. I don't wanna. As soon as the words fall from her lips, she races out from the trees. Her hair was behind her, and her white coattails billow in a graceful arc. She moves faster than any human, as if the air pushes her forward instead of dragging her down. Her gauntlet hand clenches and the blue sphere glows, then disappears as she smashes her fist into the nearest bandit. He flies away from her and crashes against a tree before crumpling into a heap. The mysterious man fires a hail of purple blasts at the bandits, catching one of them in the chest. Leanna deflects a sword from another bandit with her own blade. I just can't sit here and do nothing. I have to help. Ignoring Leanna's command, I unsheath my sword and charge into battle. Click the matching icon. Woohoo! Leanna breathes heavily as she surveys the bodies around her. She glances at me and the stranger who's still standing. I do a gentle pat down on myself and wince at my bruises. Nothing major. Leanna nods and she fidgets with her manipulator. The man stays silent as he inspects his gun. Now I have a better look at him. I realize Now, now that I have a better look at him, I realize that although his fierce scowl makes him seem tough, he doesn't look that much older than me. His hair has a habit of falling around his eyes, but as he pushes it back, I notice a long scar across one eye. Once satisfied, he tucks his gun back into the belt and gets to his feet. He nods at us. Then he turns away. He pauses. He studies us in stony silence. Then his gaze flicks to her manipulator, and he relaxes. I'm good at reading. Relaxes slightly. Leanna nods. And Matthew. All of us glance at the little blue Pongo, who seemingly popped out of nowhere. And, this is our little friend. Pongo blinks at Zach, who stares him down. The Pongo bounces uncertainly. Zach's unblinking stare never wavers, so the Pongo scoops behind my leg for safety. Zach waits for us to collect our things, and once we're all set, we head back onto the road. Leanna and I lead the way. The Pongo keeps pace with us, while Zach hangs a few steps behind us. So, what type of gun is Zach carrying? What's a discharger? I hear a sound behind us. Zach raises an eyebrow when I turn around to look at him. Leanna looks a little uncomfortable. Zach crosses his arms. There's a pause. So, a discharger? So, it is a gun. The spears are the bullets. Well, it's kind of a magazine in some sense, but it's used to fire bullets, or in this case, bolts of energy. Leanna looks uncertain. Although it made sense in my head, I can see why she might be confused. Never mind, I got it. Thanks. He smiles. I feel Zach's gaze on me, but his expression is hard to read. You know, I saw you during that fight. How were you able to move so fast? Oh, so like putting on a speed buff. Damn! That sounds awesome! She grins. Fuck you! That would be amazing. No. I love how he missed the backhanded compliment. I can already imagine myself running like the wind. Leanna seems pleased by my reaction. How does Zach know you were in the Mage Guild? She lifts up her arm and points to the sigil on her manipulator. What exactly does the Mage Guild do? Sort of like a police force. Leanna furrows her brow. unlike how detectives go out in the field and solve mysteries. It now makes sense as to why both the guard in Meadow Hill Village and Zack relaxed after seeing Vienna's emblem. Well, it looks like that guard was telling the truth. There definitely are bandits on this road. Something in her voice which makes me think she doesn't completely agree. What is it? She's terrified at Zack, but he doesn't react. What does that mean? Are they not bandits? Yeah, continues to look at Zack. She looked sharply at Zack, obviously caught off guard. That didn't sound too convincing. The subject dropped, but I still feel a little uneasy. Those guys weren't bandits. Who were they? Why were they attacking Zack? Questions circle my mind as the conversation lulls to a silence. Vienna leads away, though she seems to have something on her mind. Zack trails from behind. He remains on heightened alert. Traveled together for quite some time with no further interruptions. I can feel my legs start to burn from all the walking. Leanna squints at the sky. Zack nods. Sounds good. Zack leads the way, and we soon reach the clearing. Three of us get to work setting up camp. I roll my bedroll near the campfire and notice how thinly it spreads on the ground. Can this thing really be comfortable? Guess there's only one way to find out. I'll lie down on the bedroll and place my hands behind my head. This isn't as bad as I thought. I could definitely fall asleep here. My gaze lingers on the night sky above. The moon hangs in the inky sky, dotted with so many pinpricks of silver light. They sparkle vividly, as if trying to chase away the dark. I breathe out a breath in wonder. I never knew that stars could shine so brightly. I try to pick out a few constellations, but the star patterns above are unfamiliar. You think? I quickly sit up at the sound of Lena's voice. She holds two steaming bowls in her hand. I accept one of the bowls with a smile as she sits beside me. Just admiring the sky. This place is really beautiful. Back where I live, you don't get to see so many stars. Light pollution. Our cities are filled with so much light that it drowns out the stars. Yenna gazes thoughtfully at the sky. I shake my head. It's not the same. Some nights I don't see the stars at all. Her eyes widen in surprise. Then she places her chin in her hands. She looks at me. It's really cool tech. It's bad humans like to the planet. Different, but more or less the same. It's kind of like here. Kind of different. She stares at me, waiting for me to elaborate. We don't use crystals or have magic. And we definitely don't have pongos. When I said the pong was snoozing beside me, Leanna smiles at his soft snores. But we do have forests and towns, we speak languages, and have our own versions of academies and shops and guilds. We also have weapons and martial arts. Yep. Shit. She tilts her head back and turns her gaze to the sky. Underneath the moonlight, her pale skin seems to glow amidst the darkness. Her face softens as she smiles. We fall into a comfortable silence as we enjoy the tranquility of the night. After we finish eating and cleaning up, Zach approaches us. Leanna nods. I guess that just leaves me with third. Zach stares unblinkingly at me while Leanna coughs nervously. Almost sounds like you guys don't trust me. Though I try to keep my tone light and joking, Leanna looks guilty. She looks sharply at Zach. His arms are crossed, but his expression doesn't change. Seriously? Zach nods towards Leanna. As the fire in my mind abates, I realize Zach has a point. I've given him no reason to trust me. If I were in his shoes, I'd be just as cautious. I nod. Alright, I suppose that's fair. Good night. Zach nods. Leanna flashes me one last smile before crawling into her bedroll. I shall lie down. Zach positions himself against a tree and takes a seat. Let's get to know Zach. If we're going to be traveling together, I should make an effort to get to know what kind of person he is. I'll walk over to Zach. Hey. Mind if I sit? He gestures for me to join him, so I do. Obviously, I had to lead the conversation. So how's the weather? Zach stares at me. Alright, let's switch gears. Are you a cat or a dog person? Trying to build up some trust here, but you've got to meet me halfway. Zach looks away. Great. I guess he doesn't want to talk. What? Yeah, cool. Silence creeps in again. So are all going to Illumia? What brings you there? Ah, a friend? What do you do? It all makes sense now. Everything about you. The angst, the hard boiler exterior, the frequent cold shoulder. You're totally the brooding main character for one of my JRPGs. He stares at me and I smirk. That's exactly how one of those MCs would react. Leanna's taking me to the Mage Academy. He studies me again. I shake my head. No, I'm looking for answers. He nods in understanding and doesn't pry. Though I try to stop it, a yawn escapes. That sounds familiar. Push myself to standing. Good night. He nods. I lie down on my bedroll and scooch around and get comfortable. I try closing my eyes to sleep, but something still doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, I need a pillow. Sitting up, I look around for anything I can use. My gaze falls on the Pongo who now rests beside Leanna. Pongo pillow! This is happening. Psst, Pongo! Pongo blinks open He leery eyes and perks up when he notices me. Come here. Happily bounces over. When he comes within reach, I make a grab for him and pluck him on my bedroll. He squeaks in protest as I lay my head on him. Like a slippery eel, he wiggles himself free and bounces back to Leanna's side. No, Pongo! He glares suspiciously at me. Turns his back to me and cuddles against Leanna. Well, I guess I have no choice but to make do with being pillowless. Lying back down on my bedroll, I close my eyes and eventually drift to sleep. A dull throbbing in my back pulls me awake. I hadn't fully appreciated the magic of mattresses until now. Aside from the ickness, I actually feel well rested. I sit up and glance around. Zach leans against a tree with his head down. Tear covers his eyes so I can't tell if they're open or closed. Regardless, he hands to rest. His hand rests on the handles of his dischargers. Creepy. Looking around again, I failed to spot Leanna. Where did she go? Thinking her cry in the distance is at her, I should go to investigate. Crossing over a hill, I see Leanna practicing in an open field. She grips her blade on a fierce stance, her face stirred with concentration. She swings her blade in a high arc, ending with a graceful spin. Judging by how fluid and accurate her movement is, it's clear she's dedicated many years to perfecting her craft. Her hair whips around her as she turns, but never seems to blow in her face. Even with heavy armor, her movements are still nimble, as if she's wearing no armor at all. I wonder if all of that has to do with her wind magic. Once she notices me, she lowers her sword. No, I was already up. I didn't see you at the camp, so I came looking. Glancing down at my feet, I spot the beaming Pongo. Leanna giggles. I shrug. I don't think I have a choice in this friendship. Look at the Pongo again. He smiles even wider than before. It's pretty early. Do you always begin your mornings with a warm-up? Leanna nods. I know what you mean. Can't really go through my morning routine from Earth here on Terra, and it feels a bit strange. Probably involves coffee. Leanna looks down. The awkwardness creeps into the silence. She probably took that in a negative way, which wasn't my interpretation. That's okay though. Can always make a new routine. I achieve my blade and grip it. This morning, practice you do seems like a good place to start. She grins. I smirk. Only one way to find out. So what's the lesson today, senpai? Shake my head. Never mind. She blinks. Then refocuses to matches my fighting stance by raising her sword. I frown. It certainly seems like a fair fight. Okay, that evens up the odds a little bit. Leanna nods. Fair enough. Ready my blade in battle stance, which she matches. Leanna dashes towards me. Her movements seem slower than what they were during the bandit fight. Seems like she isn't using her wind magic. Hey! Somehow I manage to keep pace with her. Every time I think I'm about to get the upper hand, her intensity increases until we're equally matched again. Even so, I can feel her holding back without using magic. Mage Knights are still a formidable opponent with the sword, especially if they're anything like Leanna. Oh shit, I've had this muted the whole fucking time. Are you kidding me? Shit. Go back and forth a few more swings until Leanna strikes from above. I hurriedly block my sword, but I lose my balance in my hurry and topple to the ground, landing on my back. Oof. Leanna kneels down beside me.
Your fundamentals are solid. If you keep practicing, I'm sure you'll be a formidable warrior in no time.
It's pretty high praise when it's coming from you. She nods and blushes. Leanna extends a hand and helps me back onto my feet.
It would be better if I could watch you spar with someone else. That way, I can see your movement from different angles and give you better feedback.
Unless the Pongo can use the sword, the only other option is Zack. I look around and spot Zack leaning against a tree closer to our sparring location. He watches us with his arms crossed. Wait, how long has he been there? Here. Leanna rushes over to him.
Zack! Would you be willing to duel with him?
She points to me.
I'd like to get a better look at his technique.
He merely stares at her.
Oh, right. You need a blade.
Leanna hands her blade to Zack. He takes it from her and inspects it.
What are the rules of the duel?
Standard spar. Be the first one to knock your opponent to the ground.
Zack nods and heads towards the field. Oh no. So Leanna returns to me. We share a glance. That was surprisingly easy. Guess it's not in a mercenary's nature to back down for a fight, even if it's a fake one.
Are you two ready?
I step a decent distance away from Zack and ready my blade. Yep. Zack continues to stand there. I look at Leanna again, and she just shrugs. He nods.
Okay, begin.
I rush forward. Suddenly, I'm on the ground, staring up the sky with an aching pain in my chest, and the wind knocked out of me.
Strange. I thought he'd last at least 2 shots.
Zack!
What?
Why did you use your discharger?
Why not?
Leanna steps forward.
The whole point was to have a sword match with him.
You didn't list that as a rule.
Her frustration is evident in her voice.
Why else would I give you my sword?
Why did you give me your sword?
For you to use!
Snatches her blade back from Zack and heads over to me.
Are you hurt?
So this is what it feels like to be emasculated twice. The gaze drifts past Leanna to the blue sky behind her. At least the view is nice. Leanna helps me up again.
The one and only lesson you need to know when fighting. Do whatever it takes to win.
As soon as he's done speaking, Zack turns around and heads back to the campsite. It sounds just like what the angsty badass MC of a JRPG would say. My suspicions were correct all along. Leanna huffs.
Mercenaries can be so annoying sometimes.
Maybe so, but this point seems pretty valid. Leanna shakes her head.
There's more to a battle than winning. Like honor, justice, and even mercy if the case calls for it. The last thing you want to do is forget who you are and turn into your enemy. Anyway, I think we've had enough practice for one day. We should pack up and continue on our journey.
A lot of only and a back to camp. Pack up our things and clean up the campsite, then we continue our journey. As we walk, we slip into a comfortable silence. Zach lingers behind Leanna and I, while the Polygraph returns to the usual spot on my head. After a few hours, it doesn't feel like we're getting any closer. So how long until we reach Illumia?
We'll need to stop at Raven Pass to restock and spend the night. But if we continue to make good time, we'll reach Illumia by midday tomorrow.
One more day of walking. Only I brought my bit fit. I would have my daily steps done for a lifetime. I nod and we fall back into silence. By mid-afternoon, we arrive at the gates of a settlement even smaller than Meadow Hill Village. However, I'm going to end it here. It's going to be a short one today. It's mainly because I wanted to do this a little short. And to be honest, I'm not really feeling it today. Just kind of wanted to get an episode out for you guys, so I decided to do that. Anyway, if you enjoyed, this is for the YouTube part. Remember to leave a like, comment down, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, search an MTV. The next time, peace. So yeah, thank you all for coming out, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next stream scheduled for 9 p.m. EST. Peace.